back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys! So I'm here today to talk to you about two Megan Lindholm books that I recently read, and they are a little duology, so this is the complete series here. The Reindeer People and then Wolf's Brother. Now, I must admit that these feel like one novel that has just been chopped in half. It doesn't really feel as though it needed to necessarily be two books, but that's how it was originally published, and that's how I've got these editions. So let's just dive into a little bit of what is this all about. So the story starts in the Reindeer People. We are following some main characters who are called Tilu and Curlo. Tilu is our main character. She's a mother to Curlo. She and her son currently live with another group of kind of nomadic people. They are not her own people. She was taken away from her own people against her will, and ever since she's kind of been moving around from group to group and having to settle with some really not very nice characters because her son, Curlew, is not usual. He is out of the norm. In today's world, I think he would maybe be considered a form of autistic or maybe neurodivergent, something along those lines. It's never specified what he is because obviously this is set in a much older time period where nomadic tribes and people are moving around in different small groups. So no one is quite clear what he is, except for his mother. His mother is very aware of his strange patterns that he does, his things that need to happen for him to be okay and regulated. So he's unusual, he's different, and that's as much as the rest of the group knows. However, he also seems to be somewhat tuned into the magic of this world, and the magic in these two books is all to do with shamans, and it's largely to do with spirit animals. It does remind me a little bit of what she develops in her Robin Hobb books later on with the Realm of the Elderlings. That magic that's in that series feels like it comes very similarly from here, and I can see roots of it here. But this magic is all about shamans and their ability to connect with the spirit world, and Curlew seems to have a bit of a connection to the spirit world, even though his mother really wishes he didn't, and denies that vehemently because she does not like the shaman who is in charge of her current group of people. He's trying to make advances towards her, and he doesn't tend to treat Curlew the best, even though he is trying to help him learn. He's not great as an example. He's very anti-women. He's just not a great role model, let's say. So she has a lot of problems with Carp, who is the current shaman, and she doesn't want Curlew to become like him. And that's kind of the direction that it's going when we pick up the story. So she decides, you know what, I'm going to flee, and that happens really quickly. She flees, she goes to another group of people, and that group of people is the Reindeer People. She doesn't join with them, she just happens to be close to them, but as time goes, you see that she and her son, they make a sort of life for themselves, but it's really only when they meet the Reindeer People that it starts to become more of a real life, and they start to blend a little bit with what's going on with that herd of people. Now, inside that group of people, we also have another character called Hekram, and he is the love interest, but also a really dear friend to them as the stories progress. He not only is a friend to Tilu and sort of offers her a lot of support and comfort, he's also a really good fatherly-like figure to Curlew. Something that he's never really had is a fatherly figure who respects him and treats him with good integrity and allows him to kind of be himself, but also to reach further than what he thinks he can do. And it was really nice kind of seeing their bond form, especially in, I would say, the latter half of this one, and then in this one as well at the end you see a bit of their relationship. So I really enjoyed the concept of this world. I like the idea of the nomadic people being the focus, and I think generally speaking it was just an interesting concept overall. Tilu is a character. She faces some hard choices because of the world she lives in and the lack of understanding for her son. She gets kind of lumped in with him. She's a healer and she wants to heal people and help them, but she also finds that it's very difficult to be accepted anywhere because of Curlew, and she just doesn't quite know how to protect her son in the best way. A lot of the time she doesn't even understand her son, so she doesn't know how to articulate to other people what they should do. He causes her a lot of consternation and concern, and sometimes she doesn't always make the right choices for him. She just does her best. And I think from the point of view of being a mother and just trying to do your best, she's a really interesting character. You may not always agree with what she says or does, and I think she can be harsh and snappy at times, but I think I understand that as a frustrated mother would be. So I think it's a very realistic look, and I do feel as though the characters in this book, whilst not quite as fleshed out as her Realm of the Elderlings series, obviously that's far bigger, far more books, I still feel like they're very human. They still feel very believable and realistic, and like they could be genuine people, even though they're set in a very vastly different world to us. So I really liked the concept of this world, and I think it was a super easy read to get into and just get hooked into. I read them back to back, and I found that that was definitely the best way, because as I say, they feel like a story that's just been chopped in half, and I really did like seeing their progression. I feel there is a lot of more magical things that kind of get hinted at. The magic actually doesn't take over a lot of the story, I would say. It's there, but it's certainly not the focus of the story, really. It's the focus on these people and what they're going to do, how they're going to fit in with this group. And I really liked seeing that and kind of uncovering what they were going to do for themselves, and how they were going to learn the customs and the ways of the reindeer people as they kind of merged their lives a little bit more with them. And of course there are some tricky twisty bits and bobs that happen later on, particularly in the second book. We see quite a few things go wrong, and then we have to see sort of the fallout of that and how people deal with those things. There is some sad stuff that happens. There are things like rape and suicide that get hinted at. Bear that in mind if that's not for you. But in general, I really like this series. It's a simple, quick one, but it has a lot of heart and a lot of feeling. And so I ended up giving both of these a 4 out of 5 stars, and I certainly would read more Megan Lindholm works. I think there's a couple of others that she's written, like the Windsingers series, that I've not read, so I'll probably be looking to get my hands on that and read them at some point. So yeah. Let me know what you thought if you've read this series. Did you like it? And if you've read any other Megan Lindholm stuff, did you like that? I already knew that I loved Robin Hobb going into this, so I was pretty hopeful I'd enjoy these too, and I certainly feel like they are earlier versions of her work, but I really enjoyed them still. So that is that. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you very soon in another video. Bye everyone!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.